Well, what is happening? Welcome to day 3 this week of walking through grace. If you missed the last 2, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to go back and catch up. Just kidding. We talked about grace the first day as like defining what it means. It's something we talk about a lot. We hear about in worship songs like Good Grace, Amazing Grace, and we really don't understand what it means. So the first day we really dove in and defined and talked about what grace is. And then yesterday we talked about that the G in grace for this week is gonna stand for gift. That grace is a gift for all of us. And if you haven't hopped on yet, again, I challenge you, read Ephesians 2 every day for the rest of this week and Romans 5 so we can really lean in and really learn all about what grace is. So today is the letter R, walking through grace. And do you want to know what it means? I'm not going to tell you yet because I got a story first. Okay, so John and I met. John is my husband. We met in 2012 at Southeastern University in Lakeland, Florida. Shout out to SEU, an alum out there. Probably only a couple of us, but anyway, we met. We became best friends pretty fast. We hung out together all the time, and after our freshman year, going back into our sophomore year, he started pursuing me. I was not interested at the time. I was not interested in relationships really at all. So he pursued me for about 4 months. And then January of 2014, we started dating. 2 years later, January 30th, 2016, he told me, hey, you know, I have this little bandana. I have a trip for you, but you have to cover your eyes. You have to blindfold yourself because I want to surprise you. Now, he used to do this and still does this all the time, like little surprise dates. He always had things that I never knew what was going to happen. So I said, okay. However, if you also know me, I am, first off, a big control freak. I like having control, and that is exemplified in the fact that I get super car sick in the car if I'm not driving, and definitely if I can't see where we're going. So trying to be the good girlfriend that I was trying to be, I said, okay. So I blindfolded myself, got in the car, we drove from Lakeland, Florida to Fort DeSoto. Now, if you don't know, that's longer than about 15 minutes in the car, which means by the time we got there, I was dizzy, I was nauseous, I was so car sick. We got out and it took me a couple seconds just to like get my footing, but I had to keep the blindfold on because he walked me all the way to the beach. We just had a lot of memories at Fort DeSoto. It was one of our favorite beaches to go to. Got right by the shoreline at sunset. He had my friend there, and you guys know what's coming. I did not know it was coming. So he got down on one knee, unbeknownst to me, and then he told me to take the blindfold off. So when I took it off, he's standing there on one knee, and if you know me, I'm already a big crier as it is. I cry at commercials. Anybody else like me? Like if there's a Hallmark movie commercial, you know what's gonna happen, but you still get emotional. Like you see the little puppies in the YouTube ads, and I just get so excited. Like I could cry right now just thinking about it. But anyway, so I start crying, and he, gets down and holds out this beautiful ring and says this whole beautiful speech, and then says, will you marry me? Now, obviously, I said yes. We're here today. Woohoo. 6 months later, we got married. But here's what would have been really awkward. What if I would have said, yes, I'll marry you, but I really feel unworthy to receive the gift that you gave me. So you can keep the ring and all, but we can get married. That would have been super awkward, right? I had my friend there. She was filming. Shout out to Kristen. You are the bomb. But how awkward that would have been if I would have said yes, but no. Any Office fans out there? You know that time when Michael asked Carol to marry him in front of everybody at this party, and she says, can we talk about this in private? It would have been a moment like that. If you've ever seen any awkward proposals, it just would have gotten really weird really fast. And I think so often when we go into following Jesus, the hardest part is what this R is going to stand for in grace, is receiving the grace that he has for us. It's hard. We almost jump into the commitment side, I'm going to follow you, I'm going to do all these things, I'm going to go to church, I'm going to be a top fan, radiant commenter on Facebook, I'm going to serve, I'm going to be in a small group. Oh, we don't have small groups? Bam! I'm going to be in a virtual small group starting in a couple weeks. We're all into the commitment side and reading our Bible and really leaning in, but we don't want to receive the goodness and the grace and the gift that he has for us. We get into this very ritualistic pattern instead of just receiving. I think that's really hard for us sometimes, especially in our culture. It's kind of like a you get what you deserve kind of thing. You work enough hours, you get a paycheck. You work hard enough, long enough, do enough, you get a promotion. You date long enough, you get engaged, and then you stay engaged long enough, you get married. it's this very like you get what you do, what you put in is what you get out. But with God and grace, it is completely different because we did nothing to contribute to this gift except justify all the reasons why we're not worthy of it. We did all the issues, the mistakes, the baggage. We brought all the issues in. And the gift is completely unmerited, undeserved, completely nothing that we did. And this is the distinguishing factor of Christianity versus anything else in the world, is this idea of receiving God's grace. Let me break it down, because I get this question a lot with our students. Why isn't there a billion different ways to get to heaven? Or how is Christianity different than any other religion? I'll tell you how right now, and it's going to be with the arrows analogy. Throw back to my apologetics and theology days. Think about an arrow. One is going up, and one is going down. Every other religion out there is the one that's going from the ground up. It's us trying to reach up to be able to be worthy or to grab hold of salvation or to be good enough to get up to God. If you walk enough ladies across the street, if you pay for enough, breakfasts for other people and not yourself, if you try to bless people and do all the right things, maybe you'll get to earn some kind of stake in getting to go to heaven. That's every other religion in some form or fashion, is you do enough things, check off enough boxes, cross T's, dot I's, and you'll get enough to go to where you want to be. The only religion and only person, only God that does it the opposite way is our God. He understands that, looking down, there's nothing we can do to earn his grace. There's nothing we can do. He's perfect and holy and loving. Aren't you thankful for who he is? But he's so perfect that we can never reach up to it. So he did what no one else dared do. He sent his son down. That's the arrow that points down. He came into our mess. He wrapped himself up in flesh, came to this earth, was born to Mary and Joseph. You know the Christmas story, laying in a manger, and it's all beautiful. And then we get to Easter, and he died for our sins. He did what we could never do. And so often, we'd rather just get the commit side and never receive this gift of grace. It's a foundational fact that we're not worthy of this grace, but it's also foundational that we have to receive it. It's on us. I've heard it said, God is a gentleman. He has his hand open. It's up to us what we're going to do with it. We were driving through Starbucks, let's be honest. The other day, John and I love getting coffee from there. It's a little gift to ourselves during the day. And there was this man, he's always on the corner, and he always has this little sign that just says, any help appreciated. And so we were like, let's talk to him. And so he said, hey, can we get you anything? He said, oh, no, don't worry about me. You're fine, please. And so, of course, we rolled up our window, and the first thing John and I said was, we have to get him something. So we went through, I didn't know his coffee order. I didn't know anything, so I figured let's get him a big old cup of water, and let's get him a bagel. Who doesn't like a bagel toasted with some good old cream cheese? So we went through, got him that, and as we were pulling out, we rolled down our window and we said, here, I know you didn't want anything. I know you didn't ask for anything, but could we give this to you? You should have seen the look in his face. Now, here's two ways that could have happened. One, I didn't ask for that. I don't want it. That's nice and all, but you keep it. I didn't do anything to earn it. I'm not, you just go, and he never takes it, which is often what we do with the grace of God. We say, I'm not worthy enough. You don't know my issues. You don't know where I come from. You don't know what I carry. You don't know, the lifestyle that I've been in. You don't know what I did in Soho last week. You don't know. And the difference is, though, he didn't do that, right? You guys know that would have been a really awkward story to be telling right now. He walked over with this just super beautiful look of gratitude in his face and just said, thank you so much. I'm so grateful. And took it, and he sat back down just with a smile on his face. And it literally, John and I stood there for a second in our car, so sat there for a second. And it was a humbling moment for me. And I just thought, man, I'm glad we got to bless him, but that was a blessing for us. And the way that we come to God, it should just be, thank you. Just thank you. We could have never done anything to deserve it. We didn't even ask for it. Just to say thank you. Hebrews 4:16 says this, let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence so that we may receive mercy and find, here's our word, grace, to help us in our time of need. We can approach this throne of grace and we can receive the grace that he has for us. There's nothing, no issues in your life, nothing you've come from, you've done, you've said, something, anything you could have ever done. This gift is still on the table. His grace is still here. Whether or not you receive it, his hand is out extending it to you, his nail-pierced hand that paid the price for all the things we've ever done so that we can receive this grace. And my challenge for you is receive it today. Receive it every day. Receive this grace and mercy. It is here for you. He's reaching out his hand to you. It's almost as if he's saying, hey, son, daughter, will you receive what I've already paid for? It cost me everything, and it just costs you saying yes. So would you say yes today? Would you receive the grace that God has for you? That is what our R stands for in grace today. And man, I am so excited because this is just day 3. We've got a couple more days of this and really diving into what grace means. I just want to challenge you. Read Romans 5, read Ephesians 2, and really lean in and receive God's grace during this crazy season. It's going to be what gets you through to the other side. When Corona ends, I want to challenge you. Know that you have received the free gift of grace and salvation. I can't wait to see you guys tomorrow.